question I often ask in these episodes, and also in the book. That's the main question that opens up the book about what drives you. I know those three words might tend to wear on you after a while, saying he always asks the same question, what drives me, what drives. But I do want to know, and I do want to ask myself each day as a reminder, not as a question to be answered, but a question to be pondered and considered in not comparison of yesterday to today or in competition with myself. Just an open-ended question. Certainly I have, a pat answer about those four words or the one word that addresses the question, my currency. But more importantly, am I doing that? Am I activating that? Am I executing on that answer? Because I said before to you, typically I only offer you more questions than answers. No solutions. But those questions or that question methodology, I'm no PhD level guy here. It just prompts me to take the time, really, not to answer, to listen to the question. And kind of funny, I just remembered a statement I made many months ago, maybe a year ago, about why that approach for me, not trying to be cute or classy or innovative, about offering these perspectives on resilience through questions, not answers. Not that I'm afraid to give you an answer. I certainly can do that. But that answer, to me, is still lacking substance. And to be quite candid, even if I gave you the answer as me, as the answer to your question or questions, if I give you my example as the answer, that would be quite lacking and probably not relevant or even helpful in your journey. So that's probably one reason why I tend to not shy away, but I see limited value in offering you an answer. It'll never be the answer that you need. I might give you an answer that you want to hear. And similarly, I might give myself an answer that I want to hear. However, maybe the answer to the question that I need to hear is way different from what I want to hear. So, pardon me, I kind of digressed there on the reason for the questioning methodology throughout the book, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, but also in mostly 98% of the episodes in 820 Enterprise. But why I use the questions. Again, not to be, fancy and sly or whatever. It really is for a deeper reason. And I did kind of provide you a short answer to why on the questions. Not just ask questions ad nauseum to wear down the opposition or make your case in court. No. We're not in that environment or situation. What I propose to you are a proper concept and context and content of your questions. You have heard me say before, what I do as far as my purpose and message has to come from a curious perspective, a genuine perspective, a confident perspective, original perspective. That's where it's come from for me. So when I mentioned to you about forming your own original questions, your own organic questions, not that you have researched from YouTube or Google or Chat GPT. No, I'm asking your question to be sincere, original, genuine, and curious. Because those kind of questions that you will ask of yourself and then of others, those kind of questions contain the very answers that you are looking for. I know that probably is a large, long leap of faith to consider that proposition from me to you today. I've said it before, but I think it's worth restating. When you're able to produce from your heart questions that are sincere, original, genuine, and curious, those kind of questions will address the infrastructure of you, that definition of your desire, that definition of your discipline, that definition of your drive, the definition of your beauty, and the construct of the presence you must take forward into this world. It's not a silly exercise or parlor game to play with your friends. Yeah, you could do that, I guess, but that's not my intention here today or in any of these episodes. My intention is to give you, I hate to say tools, just approaches to this fairly nebulous and ethereal term called resilience that many have their own opinion of or definitions for. I'm going to offer to you mine that can use as, okay, that's interesting, but you can build on something bigger than that. You can build on your best definition for this thing called resilience. So I'm not trying to confuse or take you away from your purpose or your mission or your message or your life. But I am trying to remind you of the common quality, the common source that brought us all here, that sustain us as long as we remain aware with the courage to bring it forth into our lives in every day and every moment. So don't question yourself like, why are you here? Question yourself with sincere, original, genuine, and confident questions that already have the very answers that you are seeking on your own journey in resilience. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please tell someone, a friend, a foe, a total random stranger, hey, do you know what time it is? It is